Today I'm looking at this. This is the Mavinex USB-C 5GB USB 3 all aluminium hub. It doesn't come in any kind of fancy box. It's not trying to be anything particularly fancy by the look of things if you compare to sort of previous ones that I've looked at from sort of Anker and Satechi. But let's take a look at this and just see how it performs. So inside the box we've just got a user manual and that's it. And then we've got our hub here. Ooh, this is nice. I thought this was plastic. Serves me right for not reading the product spec fully before, but this is all aluminium. This is nice. Down one side we have 3 USB-A 3 ports, and we also have a USB 3 port here, which I think is also a power delivery port as well, so you can sort of charge stuff from this too. And then on the end we have gigabit Ethernet there too, and then on the other side, oh hang on, so that's where your charger goes in, that's where the power goes in if you want to obviously pass power back through to your laptop. And then we have an SD card slot and a micro SD card slot and HDMI. I think HDMI on this is limited to 4K 30p, so 30 Hertz, not 60 Hertz, but I'll test that in a second and make sure that it is able to provide that. Let's plug you in, Mavinex, and see how well you do. Do we get any lights telling us that this is plugged in now? Yeah, we got a green light there telling us that this is plugged in. So what have we got? Nothing under Thunderbolt, because of course this isn't a Thunderbolt device. And then under USB we have the USB 3 hub showing here, flash card reader and writer, USB 10 100 and 1 gigabit LAN using Realtek chipset, of course. I wouldn't expect any different. Pretty much all of them use the Realtek chipset, version 31.00. And then we've just got some USB 2 hub stuff showing here too. So we should be connected. Let's have a look if we are. Yeah, so let's try something internal. And the way I'll do that is by using FTP. So we'll FTP a file to the NAS. Or maybe let's tell you what, let's bring a file down from the NAS to the desktop. You can see here that we're getting a solid 111.5 megabytes per second. I would not expect any better from gigabit Ethernet. That is the absolute best you can get on gigabit Ethernet. So no problems there with the gigabit Ethernet side. This is technically capable of 20 gigabits per second, but we're not going to get anything close to that in this sort of test, because remember the hub is restricted to 5 gigabits per second. I'm going to use the USB-A socket for this particular part of the test. I can feel the Mavinex getting a little bit warm. Gets a little bit warm to the touch, but nothing to worry about by the look of things. So we'll just plug that in, select our target drive here, and go. Okay, so I recently did a test with the Satechi hub and was concerned about the speed of that, but it looks like with a 5 gigabit per second hub, these are the best speeds we're going to get, because this is absolutely identical, though of course it probably is using exactly the same chipset, isn't it? Because I think that one was a VIA Labs as well, or a VIA Labs one as well. So yeah, we've got this about 290 megabytes per second write speed and 273 read speed. The second test I'm going to do is to this NVMe, it's actually a Thunderbolt USB 4 enclosure, but this is capable of 3 gigabytes per second. I've achieved speeds of 3 gigabytes per second, so any kind of bottleneck is going to be on the side of the hub, certainly not on the side of the drive. And I'm going to connect that using a USB-C cable. It's actually a Thunderbolt cable, but it'll work just fine. And we'll plug that in to the USB-C port on there. Yeah, so these results are absolutely identical to the Satechi hub the 5 gigabits hub that I tested. So this appears to be, as I mentioned, either a limit this is just what 5 gigabit hubs deliver, or it's a limit of the VIA chipset. But those results are exactly the same. So effectively, this drive here performs very slightly better than the SanDisk, but really they're very similar. It writes slightly faster. So it squeezes just about 30 megabytes per second more out of the drive, but not much in it really. Let's try this in Windows instead. So we're in Crystal Disk Mark 8 here, and using a Windows 10. Let's just run these tests now and see how well this performs. This is going to take a few minutes, but let's speed things up a bit. Let's zoom in on the results here and take a look at that. Much, much more in line with the performance I would expect for a 5 gigabit connection. So great performance, no problems at all. Let's try some real-world transfer, though. In the bottom left here, I've got the performance monitor for the SanDisk, and I'm just going to move a few largish files, so just about a gigabyte and a half each, from a fast NVMe drive on the Windows computer over to the SanDisk drive. So let's just drag those across and see how well they perform. Right, so it seems to be flat lining there at about 355 megabytes per second. So although the testing on Crystal Disk Mark suggested we could get 460 out of that, the actual real world performance seems to be about the same as the Mac, in fact, which is surprising. So yeah, a bit mixed results, but either way, perfectly suitable for a hub of this type. Now to just test the HDMI, in fact I'm going to have to do that behind here because I don't have enough space, but let's just plug that in. And it's immediately adjusted my screen here, so that makes sense. And what's it giving me resolution-wise? Well, this is interesting. Because I'm using a display that's actually 5120 by 2160, so it's kind of an ultra-wide display, this has opted to go for an ultra-wide Quad HD resolution. So it's gone for 3440 by 1440 at 50 hertz rather than 4K at 30 hertz, which I think is that's what it's kind of defaulted to. That's surprising. And we've now adjusted this successfully to 3840 by 2160. So we've got the 4K resolution here, 2160p. So this hub does only support 4K at 30 hertz, not 4K 60 hertz. So there's the testing, but what do I personally think about this? Well, I like it. It's nice and small, much more compact than I was expecting when I saw the pictures of this. And it's got quite a lot considering the size. It's got quite a lot of sort of connectivity on it considering the size. I wouldn't mind swapping one of the USB-A ports for a USB-C. So you've got two USB 3A type and then two USB-C A type. I wouldn't mind doing that. But then on the far side, we've got the power in, and it says it's 100 watts. It says it's a fantastic 100 watts. It's actually 85 watts out, which will be sent back to your laptop. But still a decent amount of power. Not all hubs will do 85 watt of power delivery to a laptop. HDMI is a big letdown, really, because that's only 30 hertz. But it depends, again, what you want it for. If all you want it for is to just show someone's, duplicate your display and show someone something in a meeting or something like that, 30 hertz is absolutely fine. Even on a TV, you could probably get away with 30 hertz. If you're going to be connecting this and using this with an external monitor on your laptop, 30 hertz is not going to be sufficient. So you're going to want something else. But the fact it's got SD card slot and a micro SD card slot, really, really handy. I hate using those little plastic adapters from micro SD to SD. They're just so sort of flimsy, and having a separate port for micro SD is a big plus as far as I'm concerned. And again, the 1 gigabit LAN performs exactly the same as any other that you would expect using this chipset. So while I have no doubt that this is just a hub that is available with all sorts of names stuck upon it, it's a good one, it's well made, and it feels really sturdy. Yeah, definitely recommend it.